Welcome to a small video series I will be doing where I read to you a story I wrote. I've written a prologue and the chapter 1 and a sort of chapter 1 part 2, and I will be reading to you those today. This will have a little bit of some dark subjects, so if that makes you uncomfortable, I recommend not sticking around and listening to it. And without further ado, let's get into it. Prologue. The scene lights up with a flicker and a flare. The skies are a bright clear cyan, and the rolling hills stretch out as far as you can see. There's mountains and small neighborhoods littered throughout the land, and no large cities to be seen. The birds fly overhead. They twist and twirl in the sky as they play with each other. And far out in one direction there's a beautiful sea, with wooden ships, large and small, going about their day. And here, at the top of a grassy hill, is a young boy, looking to be roughly the age of 7. He's resting, eyes closed, getting ready to open them any second. And then he does. He sits up and looks around. He doesn't know where he is, but he feels free here. The whole world is this kid's oyster, and he's going to do great things. Another boy wanders up towards him, of a similar looking age. He has a darker complexion than the other boy on the hill, and the clothes he's wearing is a bit calmer too. The boy talked with the other boy on the hill, and realized he didn't have a home. He took him to his house, and begged his mother to take him in, though he didn't need to beg for her to say yes. He began going to school with the other boy, now that he was living with this new kid. He got along well with the other kids, meeting new friends and learning new things. Almost every day after school, the two boys would go out and adventure around town, into forests and parks and places around to shop, finding and making cool places and hideouts in small, hard-to-reach areas. And they would bring books and games to these places and hang out for hours on end. Life continued for the two boys. There are many things that happened to them that could not and should not be explained here, for the story of the boy on the hill would not be told if we focused on every bittersweet moment he experienced. So I shall begin with the mundane, the blissfully mundane. Chapter 1. Raccoons. Hey dude, wanna go down to the park and explore? Dude dropped his controller and leapt up in the air. Yeah, let's go! A girl in the corner stops exercising for a moment. Can I come along, Matt? Matt nodded. Yeah, definitely. You gonna bring your turtle? Well, no, but we'll know he found his way to us one way or another. Sounds good. I'll take my glide bag. I assume dude's gonna take his bike, right? Do you have anything to ride, Kate? Kate stands up and puts her turtle on the ground. I'll just run. Don't go too fast, alright? Dude smiled. We should be the ones asking you to slow down. Dude pipes up in a smarky tone. Yeah, I'm getting pretty embarrassed that a girl is outperforming me in every physical manner. Can you just not be cooler than me for a sec so I can catch up? Kate breaks eye contact with everyone and brings her arms closer to herself. I'm not that cool, and if you want to be stronger than me, put in the work, dude. Chill on the sweets and exercise with me once in a while. Sugar is a natural thing for boys my age to consume in vast quantities, and I'll exercise with you. I'll show you how strong I can be. I'll be so muscular in no time. Matt stops them and interjects. All right. We can talk when we get there. Let's go. And everyone nodded with a smirk. And so the three exited the house together. Matt pulled a small blue button out from his pocket. He pressed it and let it go. As it fell, it expanded into a large yellow bag resembling a chip bag. He naturally hopped on and began to ride it down the street. Dude grabbed his bike and followed, going slower, riding between his two friends as to stay reasonably close to Kate as she ran. The air was clear. Dude breathed with a relief and smiled. And then they pushed forward. A raccoon family ran through a small opening in a chain-link fence as the trio approached them. They rode past a water park with water spraying everywhere, glittering in the sunlight as the children splashed and played. A boy splashes water in his father's face, and the dad stumbles back with a pause and laughs. He forges a massive wave of water, annihilating his son in the fight, and the trio cheer and wave as they ride past. The trees start to form a soft green shade around the neighborhood. The air gets cooler, and the wind blows, filling the silence of these calm streets. And just as Matt looks back towards his friends to make sure they're keeping up, a raccoon bites a hole in his glide bag. Whoa. Matt incoherently blurts out as he tumbles to the ground, scraping his right arm and elbow really badly. Matt! Dude jumps out of his bike and lets it scrape along the asphalt and stands in front of Matt cautiously. Are you alright? Dude's bike finishes sliding behind him. Yeah, Kate! Dude turns his head to see Kate getting mauled by several raccoons. Matt immediately stands up and runs towards Kate with a limp. Dude catches up and runs in front of him. Kate pulls off one of the raccoons herself and throws it to the ground violently. The raccoon doesn't get back up. Dude grabs two and they immediately begin to maul him as well. And then Matt grabs one off both Kate and Dude and smashes their heads together and drops them to the floor. Suddenly, a metal bat makes contact with Kate's ribs and she falls to the ground coughing up blood. As soon as he notices, Dude is immediately filled with wrath, and he lets his grip go on the single raccoon, letting it maul him as he blindly attacks the figure who hit Kate. He punches him square in the jaw, landing several hits on him, biting and kicking and going straight for where it hurts most before being pulled back by a mob of angry raccoons. As his bloody eyes adjust to see who it is, Jared. What the hell is this? Dude says with a roar. I knew you were a jerk, but this is a whole nother level. I'm going to beat you. As another raccoon is about to bite Dude's neck, Jared calls him off. Not that badly. I need him to be able to talk. Upon hearing the emphasis on him, Dude hesitates and looks around himself, seeing Kate and Matt unconscious, ripped to shreds. What do you want? Dude is cut off by a raccoon tail in his face. What I want is for you to suffer. You thought you were so much better than me. You ruined my image just because I took matters into my own hands one time. You made me into a villain. The whole school hates me now. Thank you. I'm okay with being mad now. I've learned to accept this about myself. I love to hate. Oh, to make someone suffer is the most joyous thing. And now I have an army of raccoon friends to make up for what you took from me and help me exact my revenge. And you know what else I learned? I don't need you. So many people like me are brought down by petty rivalries, but you can't learn to move on. How will you ever grow? So, any last words? This is always my favorite part. I'm sorry. Dude's expression has turned completely blank. Oh, you think appealing to my emotions will work this time? I've already renounced love for hate. Yeah, exactly. I hurt you in such a way that you desired to attain joy from the very situation I put you in. This is crazy and ridiculous, don't get me wrong, but I'm in the wrong too. We're not that different. You gain joy from the exact opposite of what I gain joy from, but in the exact same way I gain it. Jared looks kind of uncomfortable. You're pretty calm for a boy who's about to die. Hatred is the end goal, the value, the joy. The difference between me and you is a change in upbringing, and that terrifies me. I could have been working towards the very thing I hate and have been loving it, because I found my purpose in it. Hey, can I ask something of you? Jared is just sitting here for the ride at this point, and all of his raccoons are watching in awe. Yeah, sure, shoot. Would you consider changing everything you believe in for something that will bring you real fulfillment? Like, real deal, more than serotonin and fun philosophy kind of fulfillment. What do you mean, real fulfillment? You understand I'm more than happy doing what I'm doing now, and you seem to be implying that isn't really what I want. So what is this you're offering? Well, I can't prove it's really all that different from what you've got now. It's just got a few major perks. First of all, we're social creatures. Therefore, my philosophy will lend better towards your more human nature. Being a lone wolf that loves to hate isn't all that easy when you're human. But I'm sure you're ready to leave that behind. Continue. A bit of light seeps into Dude's eyes. Let me cut to the chase. I believe there's a God, and that everything we do has meaning, and the choice of where we find our joy and what we do with our lives isn't an arbitrary one. If you take my route, you'll get the very same happiness you'll find with yours, plus the potential benefits of actually being right and having a God on your side. A turtle walks up slowly during this conversation. I've thought of what you're offering before, but with the things I've done, I might not be forgiven. And even if it's technically possible that I could be forgiven, I don't have the will to carry through. You and I both know that what you're asking of me is a lot harder to accomplish than what I'm doing now. And if ultimately I'm just here for the ride, I might as well enjoy it. Who's to say any of this is real to begin with? The turtle bumps into Dude's shoe. None of this is a chore, and every bead of sweat that falls from my forehead for another person or my God is a joy. It's constant improvement. What you're doing is fleeting. Jared lifts up his bat. Life's fleeting, kid. This has been a nice talk. I'll incorporate what you said about making everything I do for my cause a joy. Anyway, screw you. I don't forgive you. Home run. And then I woke up. Wake up 1. Milk and nightmares. I wake up on the oversized brown futon once again. It's dark, and the only light is coming from another room, only serving to make it so my eyes can't adjust to the dark. I'm scared to pieces, terrified of what might lurk in the dark. I know monsters might not exist, but if they did, I would be powerless to stop them from ripping me to pieces with their thousands of tiny sharp teeth, breaking my jaw and jamming their arm down my throat, ripping out my stomach and letting the acid burn me. It's the same helplessness that calms me down. I sit, wrapped up in a blanket. It's pretty cold down in the basement. I sit and think to myself about the dream I just had. Man, that sucked. That kid was scary. I felt sad for him for some reason. I think I was trying to reason with him. Oh gosh, my friends. I had friends. They were beat up. I hope they wound up okay. Why was there turtles? Whatever. I cover my neck, thinking about the final moments, which is still fresh on my mind, unlike the rest of the dream. Then I remember some of the nicer moments from earlier on in the dream. Those were my friends. So cool. We were biking around. Wait, was that girl just running for some reason? What was that other boy doing? Well, that's cool, I guess. Drink's not all that bad. A lot of nightmares recently, though. I've been having trouble sleeping. I need to sleep the rest of the night. I can't keep staying up. I'll go make a warm cup of milk. I took my blanket and wrapped it around myself. Walked up the stairs into the kitchen. None of the lights were on, but I knew where everything was. Plus, the numbers showing the time on the microwave always stayed on, so I had some point of reference. 4 p.m. I opened the fridge, and I felt a cold on my face and arms. The cold yet magical sight of the fridge light in the middle of the night. I took the milk and left the fridge open so I could use the light to see where everything else was. The fridge was slowly closing, so I had to go fast. I ran to the cabinet, making a load of noise, getting a mug, and then I ran back and held the door open with my foot as I poured myself a cup of milk. I tightened the cap on the milk and put it back in the fridge before closing the fridge and slowly walking towards the microwave to put the milk in. I set it for 1 minute and curled into a ball on the ground while I listened to the hum. Thank you, Cat. While I listened to the hum, trying to forget the feeling of having my head smashed off of a bat. I heard the footsteps coming from upstairs. Heavy, but not too heavy. Mom. I would have rather avoided a confrontation, but the microwave was already humming and I couldn't get downstairs in time even if I tried, so I decided to just bite the bullet and hope she wouldn't be too mad. She turned the corner and entered the kitchen. Zach, what are you doing? Go back to bed. You're waking up the littles. You're not allowed to be running around the house this early in the morning. Go to bed. I had a nightmare. I want to get some milk. She sighed. You want to go to sleep with us? No, Then finish your milk and go to bed. She sighed again and walked out of the room and went back to bed. Wasn't too bad. At least it's over with. I chugged the milk and ran downstairs and laid down on the futon, ready to go back to sleep. Then I proceeded to lay awake for the next 30 minutes imagining cool worlds I could venture in, and then I drifted off to sleep. Thank you for sitting here and listening to this. I don't know exactly when I'm going to come out with the next one. This is kind of a side project, but I hope you enjoyed and thought this was cool or whatever. Have a nice day. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.